This video was brought to you by manco.trade. This site allows you to instantly trade off your unwanted TF2 items for other various TF2 items. Any money that will be left over in one of your trades that you overpaid by gets added to your wallet, which you can then use in future trades. They also hold pretty regular giveaways, so the link to manco.trade will be down below. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to a brand new video, and on the date that I'm recording this, it's the 3rd of December, which means that Christmas Day is just 22 days away, just over 3 weeks until we hit Christmas Day, and I figured to get us in the festive spirit, I'd go over the most expensive Christmas cosmetics for each class. So there are a few rules, the first of which is they are only allowed to be unique quality. There are some strange ones which are just stupidly expensive, but we're not including those. And secondly, I did this list in November last year, and a lot of the cosmetics have changed, but the ones that were featured last year, I'm going to be including a price comparison for, so we can see how much the price has changed in the space of a year. So this is just quite an interesting little list. I did one of these around Halloween as well, and you guys seem to love it, so I figured, hey, I may as well do one for Christmas. So make sure to check out my Twitch, because around the Christmas period, I'm going to be doing a lot more streams, so my Twitch will be linked down below. I'm going to be doing a lot more like Christmassy themed type streams, maybe some giveaways here and there, and just overall it should be a really fun time, so I'd really recommend you guys going and checking that out. Yeah, without further ado, I'm going to be getting into the first one, which is going to be for the Scout. We're going to be going in chronological order of how the classes are presented. So the Scout's most expensive Christmas cosmetic is the sack full of Smissmass. This is 25 refined, and last year it was also featured on the list, coming in at just 14 refined, so it's actually nearly doubled in price. The sack full of Smissmass is literally just like the sack that goes on the back of the Scout. It's very heavily inspired by that kind of like Santa sack. It's got loads of presents stuffed in it, and it's only obtainable through completing the Steam Holiday Sale badge way back in 2013, so you haven't been able to get these things for coming up 5 years. And with that in mind, I'd say that 25 refined really isn't too bad of a price. It does look really cool and is essential if you're wanting to make a cool Christmas loadout for the Scout. Up next for the Soldier, we have the Cold Snap Coat, and this has actually gone down since last year, because on the list last year it was 31.22 refined. This year it's 25.33 refined, so it's actually gone down a considerable amount. This is like a parka coat for the Soldier. It's got like white cuffs around the wrists and like a white neck region and like a hood. It's just like a very puffy, woolly coat for the Soldier, and it's probably one of my favourite Soldier cosmetics. I do have a strange variant myself that I always use in near enough all of my Soldier loadouts. Coming up next for the Pyro, this is the first one that wasn't on the list last year, and that's because it's a relatively new hat. The only reason this is considered a Christmas cosmetic is because it came out in the Christmas update last year. It was in the Smissmass case collection, and this is going to be the Cat's Pyjamas. Now the Cat's Pyjamas for the Pyro is 1.45 keys. The Cat's Pyjamas kind of reminds me of a onesie. It's like a hood that comes up from the Pyro's default coat, but it has 2 cat ears and 3 whiskers coming out of each side. It's also paintable. You can actually paint the ear region, which I thought was a really nice touch. You can literally get like lime or pink on the inside of the Cat's Pyjamas ear. Of course, it's 1.45 keys, which comes in at about 60 refined if you convert it. Coming up next is an item for the demo that, truthfully, I didn't even think was a Christmas cosmetic, but when you think about it, it does kind of make sense. This is going to be the Scott Bonnet that was added in December 2014. The Scott Bonnet comes in at 15 refined. It literally is just like a beanie hat for the demo, which I guess does kind of make sense that it's like a winter stroke Christmassy themed cosmetic, right? Last year I put the bomb beanie on the list and completely overlooked the Scott Bonnet as not even being a winter themed cosmetic. But it's a beanie hat just as much as the bomb beanie is, so it only makes sense that we put it on the list. For the Heavy, this is quite possibly the most Christmas-themed hat on the list. We have the Old Man Frost coming in at 14.22 refined. This cosmetic really is the full package, considering it's just a hat. You get like this elf hat that has a bell coming off the back. You get a pair of elf ears, a mustache, and some like old man reading glasses. Like, this cosmetic is crazy for how much you get, considering it's just one hat, and it really does give that like Papa Elf kind of vibe. Like, if any of you have seen Elf, you'll probably know what I mean. I'll put a side-by-side comparison right now. I mean, they're basically identical. For the engineer, this one was on the list last year as well, and we've got the thermal insulation layer. Now, interestingly, last year, this thing was 13.22 refined. However, this year, it's coming in at a price of 23.11 refined, so again, nearly doubling in price over the course of a year. The thermal insulation layer essentially provides the engineer with like a gilet, like an armless jacket, along with a fully buttoned up, button-up shirt underneath. Like, it really does look like a very normal cosmetic, like something that you really could see in real life. It's not very extravagant like the Old Man Frost. However, yeah, I just think it's really strange that this thing has nearly doubled in price over the course of a year. Maybe it's because refined has increased since last year, or the key prices have gone up since last year. I can't really think of many other reasons, but with keys being nearly 42 refined right now, that kind of would make sense as to the inflation in a lot of these items' prices. But yeah, that's the engineer's most expensive. Going on to the medic now, we have the Cold Front Commander. And for those of you who don't know the Cold Front Commander, it's actually based off of the Snow Troopers from the Star Wars films. I'm pretty sure that more specifically the Snow Troopers are in the 4th and the 5th film, but either way, that's not too important. The fact of the matter is, it's very heavily inspired by that. Of course, you have the medic badge on the side of the helmet as well, which is a pretty nice touch. And this thing's paintable, and it's paintable in the way that I think is really sick. You can paint like all the rags and like the bits covering the face and the back of the head, meaning you can get these like lime painted or like pink painted bandanas and stuff covering the face while the helmet remains white. I just thought this was really nice. And the Cold Front Commander comes in at a cool price of 8.33 refined, which really isn't too expensive considering it's the most expensive Christmassy stroke winter stroke Christmas themed cosmetic. That's pretty cheap. So coming up next, guys, for the sniper, we've actually got two, because obviously I'm going to be talking about the Smissmass Caribou first because it makes sense to talk about that. But I don't really think it should be included because of how rare these things are. Like, I've literally never seen one of these things in game. Now, the way you obtain the Smissmass Caribou is identical to the way in which you received a sack full of Smissmass. It was only obtained through the Steam Holiday 2013 badge. So of course hasn't been able to be obtained since, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot less of these in existence than the sack full of Smissmass. And of course there is the counterpart of the Smissmass Caribou, being Randolph the Blood-Nosed Caribou. But again, like, these things are so rare they don't even really have a price. Smissmass Caribou, however, does. It comes in at 64 keys. Very interestingly, last year when it was on the list, it was only 39.2 keys. So once again, we're seeing a huge ramp up in the price of this thing. Is it because of how limited it is? Is it because of the key prices? I'm really not too sure. But either way, we can appreciate that this thing is a crazy cosmetic. It's like a severed reindeer's head that sits on top of the sniper's head. Absolutely crazy cosmetic, and if you've seen one of these things in game, I'm sure you can appreciate it even more so. And the other item for the sniper that's going to be on the list is the Professionals Ushanka. Now this is much more appropriately priced, coming in at 18.33 refined. The Professionals Ushanka is a big woolly Ushanka hat for the sniper, but it also has these like goggles as well, these like yellow tinted goggles that go where the sniper's sunglasses region would be. This is a really cool hat. It is fully paintable and does look really nice when it is painted. But yeah, not a huge amount more I can say. We just got to put a more reasonably priced one in than the Smissmass Caribou. Up next on the list, and the spy item for this list, we have the Puffy Provocateur. This is my favourite spy body cosmetic. It's one I use in my main loadout, and this thing comes in at 2 keys. It was featured on the list last year at 1.3 keys, so a 0.7 key ramp up in price. This once again is just a very puffy winter themed coat for the spy. That's literally all there is to it. It's a big like insulated puffy coat for the spy with like a fluffy hood and stuff like that. And guys, on the last item on the list, we have the all-class item, being the Holiday Headcase. Now, the Holiday Headcase is literally just like a generic present look that goes on the head of your classes, and it's a pretty rare item. You don't see a lot of people using this. The way it looks on classes in game is absolutely hilarious.
Oh no!
Now the Holiday Headcase comes in at 9 keys, which makes it by far, excluding that Smissmass Caribou, the most expensive item on the list. But again, I don't really think we can include the Smissmass Caribou. But yeah, that is the most expensive all-class item that is Christmas themed, and that is the end of the list. So guys, leave a like on this video if you did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts down below, and maybe any other ideas, maybe like the cheapest Christmas themed cosmetics for each class. That could be quite fun to do as well. But yeah guys, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and peace. Also guys, if you are looking to level up your Steam profile, then head over to XD's Leveling Up service. This allows you to trade TF2 keys or CSGO keys for full trading card sets that then of course you can trade up and level up your profile. It's currently one TF2 key for 12 sets or one CSGO key for 13 sets, which is actually a lot of cards and a lot of sets that allow you to level up your profile in rapid succession. The link to that will be down below.